In that primeval prime of the Jurassic, a golden era cloaked under colossal shadows, the most awe-inspiring presence upon the earth was not the predators bearing ferocious claws and fangs. Instead, it was that majestic titan who seemed to move in perfect resonance with time itself, embedding every single stride into the profound depths of the ages. Though endowed with a monumental, earth-shattering strength capable of crushing solid stone, it chose to compose its entire existence into an infinitely drawn-out adagio. Tonight, as we sit by the gently flickering hearth, accompanied by this narrative that requires no effort to remember, let us wander together into the true serene life of the gentle Brontosaurus. Listen closely, in the deep stillness of the ancient wilderness, drifting through the soft rustling of wind-swept ferns, there comes a low, immensely steady and rhythmic rumble. It is no omen of an impending tempest, nor is it the trembling of the tectonic crust. It is the sound of its deliberate footsteps marching beneath the canopy of stars, slow yet brimming with soul-stirring power. This prehistoric behemoth, which spent its whole life manifesting the ultimate art of slowness, was, by its mere existence, the most tender lullaby to a tumultuous world. Throughout its boundless life, it never chased after speed, yet in a state of absolute, unshakable tranquility, it elegantly completed its own primordial epic as the first faint glimmer of dawn pierces through the dense, lingering shrouds of ancient volcanic fog, illuminating this woodland sanctuary of skyscraping giants. The primeval world begins to awaken. The gentle Brontosaurus stands motionless beside a towering, cloud-wreathed araucaria tree, its colossal form resembling a majestic hill resting silently within the amber morning light. It harbors no haste to begin the day's tribulations. While agile predators prowl, scout, and sprint in their frantic bids for survival, it merely turns its long, elegant neck with exquisite deliberation. That neck, spanning several meters, traces a sweeping and mesmerizingly slow arc through the air, as though the movement of every vertebrae demands profound, meditative reflection. Its head, remarkably petite compared to its mountain-like physique, softly glides into a canopy of vibrant, emerald foliage, its touch so ethereal that it does not disturb a single prehistoric insect slumbering upon the twigs. Soon after, a wondrous symphony echoes through the woods, the slow, unhurried sound of its rhythmic chewing, rustling like a gentle breeze. This mastication carries not a shred of hostility. Using its comb-like teeth, it patiently strips the most tender dew-kissed leaves from the branches, then closes its eyes to savor the flavor in absolute peace. To this giant, swallowing and digesting is a grand, sacred ritual taking several hours to unfold, and with every rise and fall of its throat, a low rumble, akin to distant summer thunder, reverberates from its cavernous abdomen. This deep vibration rolls through the empty wilderness, yet instead of fracturing the morning stillness, it acts as an ancient low-frequency white noise that lulls everything around into a blissful lethargy. In its realm, time is never measured by minutes or seconds, but rather by the lazy pace at which leaves dissolve in its mouth, and by the golden trajectory of sunlight sliding from one side of its broad spine to the other. The midday sun gradually grows scorching, infusing the woodland air with a heavy, intoxicating aroma of evaporating sap and botanical nectars, forcing most woodland creatures to retreat into the cool shadows of the dense undergrowth. Yet, it is at this very hour that the gentle Brontosaurus begins to mobilize its astonishingly immense frame, setting course toward the wide, open marshlands at the forest's edge. Stepping upon the plush carpet of fallen leaves and rich damp earth, its forelimb descends heavily, releasing a deep, resonant thud. Only after a long, unhurried pause does the hind leg follow in kind. This footfall, though massive, carries a sublime and comforting cadence, beating like the primordial heart of the earth itself, pulsing steadily every few seconds and awaking a faint, soothing vibration through the forest floor. Along the trail, diminutive prehistoric mammals and tiny, fragile dinosaurs hear this thunderous approach, yet instead of fleeing in frantic terror, they confidently peek their heads out from their subterranean burrows and hollow logs. For they well know that this unwavering stride signifies absolute sanctuary. No predator alive would dare lay an ambush upon a path graced by the Brontosaurus. Like a living, breathing fortress of peace, it utilizes its incomparable mass to carve out a brief, precious haven of tranquility within a ruthless, primeval world. When it finally reaches the margin of the wetlands, and the warm, murky waters envelop its pillar-like limbs, it exhales a long, deep, and profoundly satisfied sigh. That sound resonates all the way up its elongated windpipe, ultimately transforming into a velvety hum akin to the lowest register of a masterfully played cello, sending delicate, concentric ripples dancing across the glassy water. There it stands, perfectly still in the mire, allowing the comforting silt to cradle its weathered skin and wash away the fatigue of its journey, a serene vigil that routinely occupies the entirety of the afternoon as the late afternoon breeze begins to gust, bearing the sulphurous breath of distant volcanic peaks and the ominous warning of an approaching tempest. The horizon darkens with brooding clouds. A restless, apprehensive energy ripples through the woods. Swift, nervous predators scramble in anxiety, searching for hidden caverns or growling uneasily into the rising gale. Yet, the gentle Brontosaurus remains anchored to its spot, tilting its noble head slightly upward, gazing at the churning purple clouds with eyes full of mild, deep wisdom. It has weathered countless such cataclysms across the eons, knowing intimately that before the matchless tyranny of Mother Nature, any frantic flight or blind panic is utterly futile. Its elongated, whip-like tail rests quietly in the soil behind it, a devastating weapon capable of shattering the bones of the most ferocious carnivores with a single strike. Yet right now, this formidable tail merely sways left and right through the wild grasses, moving with the rhythm of the wind, unbelievably light and slow, like a colossal pendulum measuring the flow of passing time. As the very first raindrop falls with a heavy splat onto its broad brow, it simply closes its eyes in total surrender, welcoming the torrential downpour to wash over its slate-gray, rock-hard hide. The skies burst forth and thunder cracks directly overhead, but as long as the silhouette of the Brontosaurus stands tall, as stable as a mountain, entirely unfazed, the wide wilderness feels safe and anchored. Using its vast, vaulting back, it shields the fragile, trembling creatures huddled beneath the ancient roots from the merciless elements, and amidst the roaring chaos of the storm, its steady, slow respiration remains clearly audible. It is the ultimate manifestation of silent resistance against natural fury, requiring no words, demanding no actions. Its mere presence is a sovereign balm that quells the anxieties of the entire earth. The tempest departs as swiftly as it arrived, and as the mantle of night falls, the heavy clouds dissolve completely, unveiling the long-lost, dazzling majesty of the primordial Milky Way. The prehistoric night is crisp and filled with mysticism. Countless bioluminescent fungi and microscopic glowing insects spangle the darkness, weaving the dense forest into a surreal, enchanted dreamscape. Having concluded its long hours of steadfast standing, the gentle Brontosaurus resumes its unhurried, measured pace, ambling gracefully back toward the secluded, peaceful valley it calls home. The midnight air grows cool and thin, and with every deep breath it draws, a plume of pale, ghostly mist condenses before its nostrils, only to vanish into the silvery moonlight. It comes to a rest upon an expansive meadow blanketed with soft, lush ferns, where the earth still cradles the residual warmth of the daytime sun, breathing out a sweet, earthy fragrance. It now begins its transition into slumber, a sequence executed with a slowness that is nothing short of miraculous. First, it slowly, tenderly bends its massive forelimbs, allowing its monumental chest to greet the ground millimeter by millimeter. This motion is unbelievably soft, raising not a single speck of dust into the pristine air. Next, its heavy abdomen and powerful hindquarters yield gracefully to the embrace of the warm earth. Finally, its long, elegant neck coils in a gentle half-circle across the grass, resting its small, peaceful head upon a soft, moss-blanketed boulder. The exact moment it lies fully prone, the entire valley seems to sink into a state of deep meditation alongside it. All worldly clamor completely evaporates, leaving behind nothing but the absolute purity of the night. It rests there like a massive, dark monolith fused seamlessly with the landscape, and under the quiet vigilance of the stars, it begins to savor the most tranquil hours of its existence. Now, the night has grown exceedingly deep, and within the ancient forest, nothing remains but the intermittent murmurs of nocturnal insects and the soft whispers of wind combing through the treetops. The gentle Brontosaurus has drifted into a profound, undisturbed slumber. Within its dreams, there are no vicious cycles of hunting or desperate escapes, only endless groves of tender leaves to graze upon and an everlasting, comforting sunshine. Its colossal flank rises and falls with hypnotic regularity, and every breath it exhales releases a long, soothing snore that rolls across the valley like a gentle tide, ebbing and flowing in perfect harmony. This sound carries an unimaginable healing power, as though it were a primeval lullaby composed by the earth itself hundreds of millions of years ago, traveling across the vast expanse of time to echo softly in our ears tonight. This titan of unparalleled mass, through its unhurried existence, reminds us that in a world consumed by competition and velocity, slowing down is itself a form of profound greatness. You do not need to dash forward blindly, nor do you need to conquer anything at all. You only need to discover your own unique rhythm, just like the Brontosaurus, and plant your feet firmly upon the ground with every step you take. The moonlight cascades over its sleeping spine, gleaming with a soft, ethereal luster, watching over this ancient, quiet night until eternity. As you listen to its heavy footsteps fading away into the corridors of memory, and as the image of its slow content chewing softly blurs in your mind's eye, your own body becomes lighter, shedding its burdens and sinking into total relaxation. The ancient starlight wraps around you like a velvet blanket, sealing out the chill and exhaustion of the world, leaving you with nothing but boundless warmth and complete peace of mind. Sleep now, for the gentle Brontosaurus has safely secured this entire night for you. Close your eyes with a quiet heart, and drift softly into that beautiful dreamland where anxiety cannot follow, and only pure, timeless serenity dwells.